Hi everyone. We've come together again this time on a Sunday. We thought we'd give you a little review of the weekend's racing. As it's always very difficult to squeeze it into the Wednesday video that we film. So we're going to have a quick look back at what we thought were the highlights of the weekend. We've got a little competition coming up later for you to win a wonderful print by Caroline Cook. You might have seen us on eBay, and we plugged them on Twitter before. So, but anyway, before we get to that, let's look back at the weekend's racing then, boys. Loads of good racing again over the weekend.
Fantastic.
Great racing.
Absolutely. Probably the biggest highlight from Saturday, Mr. Fisher in the Peterborough Chase.
On Friday,
Yeah.
Peterborough Chase, yeah. Sorry,
did I say Saturday? Apologies.
You did, but it's all right.
Yeah.
It was on both days. It's understandable.
Yeah. Obviously, as I said to you, Sean, I didn't. I steered clear of him a bit. Really, I was just a little bit concerned with the recent form, struggling to get round. But you kept the faith.
I did, yeah. I remember because me and you were talking about it, weren't we, just after the race? And you are right. I mean, if you look at his form beforehand, it especially at Cheltenham, so it didn't, like you put it to, Glenn, it didn't exactly scream that he was going to see that trip out. And from my point of view, Kalashnikov has been disappointing of late, reasonably. I don't think it was the strongest of Peterborough Chases. Obviously, Fanny and Destravel was probably going to be the one that was really going to be, what seemed like it was going to be the highlight of the race, to be fair, for that horse. But just come down along the back straight, I believe, and from there onwards, Mr. Fisher just looked pretty comfortable. Kalashnikov did head him, I believe, over the last, but yeah, it seemed to, like you said as well, never seemed to have that stamina getting up the hill. Yet that's what won him the race over the last. So yeah, I stuck by him, and it paid off this time.
As I say, we know he'd done it before, but as I say, just them last couple of runs, he just seemed to have struggled with, and you thought, well, maybe the first time was, a bit fortunate.
Yeah, you could have believed that. Like you said, like you alluded to, you were more than in your rights to look at that and go, yeah, but his Cheltenham form, doesn't really light you up when you look at that sort of race. So yeah, I mean, I can understand why, but yeah, it paid off this time.
Sean, I'm just saying about. Well, I'm just reading a little bit on the Mr. Fisher, just on in the paper and that, and it's saying that could be going back to March for the Ryanair Chase. And it's gone from a 16-1 chance. What do you reckon on the Ryanair Chase?
I think that's a fair price at the moment. I think he stands a fair good crack. I mean, like you say, especially in that race, showed a lot of what we thought he didn't have at Cheltenham, which was fight. When Kalashnikov jumped upside over the last, I think, literally just touched down in front. And Mr. Fisher showed what we thought we didn't have. And like I said before, that was that fight and that guts to see that last two furlongs or that furlong up a hill. 16-1, I wouldn't be putting anybody off at an each way shout. I think it'd be an ask for him to win the Ryanair. But throwing his hat in the mix, I fully agree with that, to be honest.
I mean, with Kalashnikov, it's what you get, is what you see with Kalashnikov. Always puts his effort, but just unfortunate, it's not putting his head in front at the moment. So
yeah, always there or thereabouts. But it's just like I say, for me, I couldn't take a chance on him. I think it was quite a short odds. I think if Kalashnikov went a favourite, I couldn't really understand why. But
5-2 according to Racing Post.
Yeah, I mean, like we say, it's a horse of big capabilities, but like Jamie says, it's what you see is what you get. It never really seems to put it in when it matters. So yeah, it was a good race though. Good Peterborough Chase.
Yeah, it's a shame that Fanny and Destrial fell, because that was disputing third, wasn't it? When it was
running on really well.
Yeah,
running on really well.
Yeah, my sister was a bit gutted.
I think a lot of people were, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, as I say, that's probably the biggest one on the Friday.
Yes.
So we could probably start right from the beginning on Saturday with the juvenile triumph.
Oh yeah, Jamie was talking about this.
Yeah,
before.
you wanted to sort of say it, didn't you, Jamie?
Yeah, it's just that was a really good, impressive run by Adagio. Tom Scudamore won it and won really well. Jumped well throughout, travelled. I think he could have a bit of a say in the triumph hurdle. There's not a lot of standout horses coming out for running in the triumph, and that sort of stood out for me.
Well, he finished 4 3/4, had a second historic heart. So you'd think you know, and you'd struggle to pick the others behind, wouldn't you? Really?
I mean, I mean, when I was looking at the form and reading the form yesterday, yesterday morning, and I was looking at like Paw that has been bought for like for 62,000 guineas, and that sort of didn't perform that well first time over hurdles. I thought Son of Red done really well. That was coming around the bend on the home straight, and he just petered out and finished third. And you and the historic heart that ran really well, considering it's run about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was his 6th race and finished second going up the hill. And that was trained by Nigel Hawke, and that was a reasonable run. I think there was a few people saying that run up of best, run best to his mark, but I think the one to take out of, I would say, is Adagio for the winner, and Son of Red. But,
fair enough. Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to the next one. We had the Syndicate Novice Chase. Sean, you might as well take the floor on this one because it was your pick. So well done on that for a starter. Who's your raffles one?
Yeah, like I said, it didn't exactly go how I assumed it would go. I think Lieutenant Rocco ran a fantastic record. I mean, pinged every single fence. I mean, there was a while on the back straight where you honestly thought that he was going to go away from all of them because his jumping was just impeccable. Chantry House, the jumping wasn't great, but as I thought, when he was coming up the hill again, found nothing really. There's probably reasons for that. They'll tell us there's reasons for that. But Fusil Raffles does what he does, and he digs in. Again, 2 out didn't even look like he was going to get there, to be honest with you. I think Lieutenant Rocco just jumped them all into submission at one point, especially Chantry House. Turning for home was in no man's land, as was Fusil Raffles, to be fair. But he dug in what the 2 times do best, and dug in and managed to just kick away at, after the last, and in the end when he won nearly 4 lengths, which was
they're only the 2 that really came out with credit, weren't they? Really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you say, Quill Destan pulled up, but was going to be nowhere near. Was off the bit, a long way from home. So it's probably best for the horse to pull up, especially when you've got that long way to go. But like I say, Chantry House, I'm sure there's reasons for that run because, you know, I didn't think he would win, but I didn't think he'd be that unimpressive at where they want to aim for, which is Cheltenham.
Yeah, exactly. Given previous form, you expected more.
So again,
sure. If you was Nicky Henderson, would you have been concerned with that performance of Chantry?
You're always going to be concerned, aren't you, when you've got a horse that goes off 8 to 11, anything below odds on, and gets beat, not just beat, but beat by what, 13, 14 lengths away from Fusil Raffles?
Yeah, almost 14 lengths.
Yeah, so there's always those concerns. I'm sure it will bounce back and it will be more than fine next time out. There's no doubts in that from my point of view. I don't think they'll be concerned. I think they'll be a little bit disheartened.
Well, it must be a real head scratcher, wouldn't it? It must be. If you've got a horse, you train, and sorry, Jamie, and you.
So I mean, by looking in the eye, watching it, it looked like Chantry House was a bit slow. Jumping through the air, and I think it could have been the ground conditions because it looked. They said that it was soft in the morning on the opening show, but it just looked to me like it was like soft, heavy in places sort of ground.
Yeah, because when he won at Cheltenham, obviously last year, Chantry House, the ground was good to soft. So, like you say, there is a massive chance, and obviously the running on Friday could have paid dividends to that and chewed it up a little bit more, changed the race. So, like I say, alluding to Mark's question, I don't think they'll be overly concerned because he has won at Cheltenham before. So there is proven ability in the horse. I think it would just be a little bit more underwhelming. Didn't turn up on a day when they hoped he did, but then again, Henderson got the winner anyway. So. I mean, how bothered are you when you've had the winner anyway, but your best horse didn't perform? So it's one of those. It'll bounce back and it'll win plenty to come. We saw it. Ascot, there's scope in that horse, and it'll be fine. So
yeah, definitely. So I did think Rocco was going to pinch it at one point. He was going along so nicely. I thought he's going to steal this one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He stole a march on him, turning for home. I thought, oh, he kicked away, and they're both off the bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All right. Well, let's swiftly on then to the Spread X Handicap Chase. Sky Pirate won quite well.
Mark?
On the bridle, coming on, and even Tom Schoonmore was looking at between his legs. Couldn't believe it.
I was literally just going to say about Tom Scudamore. He would have been the one person who I'd have felt sorry for the most in the last race, especially being on Lieutenant Rocco, because I thought he ran a superb tonight. And, you know, like what Sean said, Cheltenham Hill always either brings out the best or the worst in some of the horses, you know, and it was like a game of chess in that race, you know. Future Raffles plays his pieces absolutely superbly. But Tom Scudamore to get back on board in the next race in Sky Pirate, to win at 4-1, I thought, you know, okay, you know, he got, you know, his revenge there in the next race. It was superb jumping. Well, I actually had a bet on the second place, Iblio. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Iblio, yeah.
I actually had a bet on that horse for Charlie Deutsch, but look, can't take away performance from Sky Pirate. In that one.
I mean, even Mark, that Sky Pirate was coming from the back, because when you saw the beginning of the race and like Gino Trial just banged out and went like 20 lengths in front and jumping for fun like a stag, and you went, and I'm going, well, I've backed Sky Pirate, and I'm going, oh no, they've let him go here, even though he's like the age of 13, but he was just jumping for fun.
And he started off at the 40s, didn't he?
Yeah, and he started
before the race. He was at 40s. He went off at 14.
And I just thought, here we go. We're going to let go. We're going to let one here like go. And I thought, no, Tommy's just finding the pace. He's finding the jumping of Sky Pirate. Sky Pirate just jumped and travelled so well. Gutted about, because I backed Sky Pirate and Zanza, and I was gutted about Zanza falling on.
Yeah, I had Zanza as well.
Yeah, and that was just like, you know, and she, well, he was like, he was on the premises. He was coming up, and then Johnson tried to give him a big, like another big jump. So I think he was like, couldn't handle the pace coming down the hill, Zanza, and jumping that fence and came down. I think that was you know, just going for broke really. But he was coming on board. But then Sky Pirate, that was impressive. On the bridle, looking around, see you later. It was just like,
could have gone round again.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I don't know where they're going to go now with Sky Pirate. It looks like they found the actual distance for him.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
all right. Well, yeah, let's move on then. The next one then, lads. Well, one of the ones we definitely had a couple of picks for, the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup. That was an interesting race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Racing Post picked out Chat Street Lad as the performance of the day. Bit hard to argue that, really, isn't it?
Very difficult to argue that. I mean, Jesus. I mean, could it have got any easier for him? I mean,
it was like the old days, Sean, where you find an Irish horse and you go, I'll back that because the handicap won't even touch it. And
that's what I mean. The handicap have missed a trick, and I mean, running off of that Tesla 10, and he's played everyone not played everyone for a fall. I mean, but at 16-1, that sort of convincing winner. I mean, they won't look at it like Jamie says. They've played a clever one there, haven't they? Really, he's come over with one horse and he's had one winner. I mean, it's
I mean,
what can you do? You can't argue that, can you? It's smart. It's just smart, really. What can you do?
I mean, Michael Winters.
They do it.
I mean, Michael Winters is a shrewdy old trainer, and he can do. He can win. You know, he can win races and that, and even that jumped really well. I mean, Chatham Street Lad. I mean, you know, you can't fault with it. It's just that the only thing was like it felt like it's been chucked in. Yeah, like 10 stone 10, and it looks like they've gone. Well, go on then. Let's show you. Let's see what you can do. And it's like, you know, jumping the last, and then see you later. It was like 12 lengths in front. And I mean, I was
away as well. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult though because the form going into it actually it wasn't too bad. I mean, he's very rarely out of places, so it's not like it's been one of those, you know, under the radar sort of jobs. It is a horse with clear potential, but I mean, I don't know if any of you, but I just kind of glazed over him for that's an Irish Raider chance in his luck. And he didn't just chance his luck. He made everyone look. I mean, to the fact that the trainer's been able to roll in the Cheltenham mud, I think is just fantastic. To be honest with you, he's, well, fair play to him. Take your opportunity. Do you know?
Well, you had Al Dancer, didn't you? And Master Tommy Tucker all sort of
still going, aren't they?
Not yeah, exactly. Didn't really fire at all, did they?
No, not really. Benatar ran a good race for the Moors.
Yeah, I thought Benatar had a good race. I think it was like.
And Jamie's good boy Bobby can't we come fourth?
Yeah, finished fourth.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was like nearly 700 days since its last run. Benatar.
Yeah.
And go out. And obviously, like you said about good boy Bobby, that was being, it was being backed really heavily. I think it was like 16-1 or something at the start of the day, and then at the start of the race, I think it went off at 6-1.
By looks of it, right?
Yeah. 6-1. Yeah. So, but
fair play. Like I say to the trainer, that's what you want to see, and really, it's not always the big boys you want to see get the big wins. So,
I mean, what I do when I bet, with them big handicaps. I mean, okay. Well, I mean, on a Wednesday, I normally have a look, and we normally pick what we want, and obviously some of them are not being declared or anything. So obviously I went for big good boy Bobby, but when I had the paper and everything in the morning, I was going to back him. I was going to back him anyway. So my pick, I wasn't going to back off. I wasn't going to do a racing blogger go, no, I'm not going to do that. But I looked at other selections. So I'll do like 2 or 3 in a handicap. So you can have a look and do an each way. It's not a problem. I mean, you've got 17 runners. I mean, I normally do like 2 in a race or 3 in a race. With a big handicap like the Aintree Grand National, obviously I'll do about 4. But I look at their form. Even though I look at the form in the paper in the morning, I normally have a look at the form where we have to do our little selections on a Wednesday on the website. But I thought I've done 3. I've done obviously the winner, the 4th, and the Southfield Stone. And Southfield Stone done okay, but went backwards though. I mean, went in the I think it was about 8th or 9th, I think. But no, good boy Bobby jumped really well considering the conditions and also with the big field. I thought that would jump really well.
Fair enough. All right, well, the next big one of the day would have been the Unibet International Hurdle. Now, obviously, we managed to get a 1-2 in that from us, me and Jamie contributing to that. But before we start that, we've got to mention what happened to Goshen.
Oh, God.
Irregular heartbeat, they've said now, haven't they?
Is it?
They've come out today and said that there was... they've said that it was an irregular heartbeat, but... I mean, they've had 3 shots now, haven't they? Since the restart, so to speak, with this horse. Okay, yes, 2 have been on the flat, but that's just, you can excuse the first, but then the second didn't go great, where you should have feel he was almost match ready. And then they say, well, we'll put hurdles in front of him, and that hasn't seemed to help.
No.
So is it a case of, I don't know. I see a lot of people are saying maybe just, wrap him in bubble wrap for the next couple of months, give him this season off, because he's still only young. There isn't, there's no rush with jump racing to keep these horses year in, year out. You're not retiring them at 4 years old, like the Pinatabus of this world and things like that. So, he's 4 years old. Would a year out just to, I don't know, refigure?
It's not going to hurt, is it?
No, get their heads together and refigure what this horse is about. Because it just, okay, yes, they omitted a couple of offences, but they all had to deal with that problem. And to be honest with you, Song for Someone, the trainer was more concerned that there was less to jump than most. But even he turned around and said, well, we've all got to deal with it. It's not like it's different for everybody else. We're all racing on the same terms here. So there's no excuse from that from Goshen, because Song for Someone was more concerned. They were more concerned for that horse about the lack of jump.
Yeah.
He goes on and wins close, but he won well. So what do we say with Goshen, Keep making up the reasons why he didn't perform, or do we just put him in a box for a while and say, look, come back again next year, a different horse, hopefully? I don't know.
There was a heck of a lot of criticism over that performance. Just as they like we assume with a lot of horses who have had bad performances that we expect them to get the win. Look, we all know at the festival it was a freakish freakish accident that happened. And had that race won by an absolute mile. We would have won that race, gone back into the winners' enclosure, and the horses would have still been battling up the hill. That's what people never. It wasn't like it was an actual, mistake. It was just freakish. You'd never see it again. But the chances of that happening. Going to Goshen's performance, it was too keen early on, and I think Jamie Moore didn't really know what to do. He was trying to hold him back and then let him run free, then hold him back, and then eventually it just didn't have the stamina. Song for Somebody, again, Jamie, who picked it, well done for that. Aidan Coleman, it's twice that I've been made to eat my words in his performance. He has definitely stepped up to the mark. 1 on Epitome and 2 Song for Somebody. Silver Streak for you, Glenn. That was another good, solid one. My picks, Sky Royale, we drifted out to around 12 to 1. But
cool. Sorry, Mark. Yeah, you managed to find 4th.
Yeah, just about. But and again, Ballyandy as well, top performer as well in the places. But like I said, for Goshen, I think Sean does make a good point. Similar to what they're doing with Tiger Roll. They don't want to make any too rash decisions. He's still a young horse. Difference in the age difference, but he's still a young horse. Wrap him up. Get him trained there and be like, look, we all know the Cheltenham Festival is where Goshen's going to probably end up heading again. It's more than likely. So keep him wrapped up. But there was clearly something not right yesterday. And as Sean just mentioned about the irregular heartbeat, did you say, Sean?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, you could clearly see that. But obviously, you don't want to make the whole spotlight around Goshen's. You cannot take away Songs for Someone's performance back at Ascot and then winning at Cheltenham yesterday. It was a good one.
Or young Jamie's pick.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We better let Jamie have a mention. Go on, Jamie, because obviously you did pick the winner. So go on.
I mean, it's been in my tracker for a while, and I thought I'll stick to the Song for Someone because he was impressive at Ascot and he's been impressive at Kempton and all that. Like I say, obviously he's dropped down in trip, but I'll tell you what, he dug deep to win that race. I thought Silver Streak was going to pip him on the post. He's another great horse. Looks like Silver Streak will be going to the Christmas Hurdle, but the only thing with Silver Streak, he's going to be racing against Epitome, and then it's going to be seeing Epitome's backside. I reckon at Kempton. But I thought Song for Someone jumped really well, considering they had to miss the hurdle twice. I thought it ran really well. Aidan Coleman was, I thought he rode it really well. I was listening to Tom Simmons this morning on RUK, and they are thinking they're thinking of waiting for the horse to tell them what to do, not pressurising the horse. So I've got a little bit of I had a bit of a question mark from one of the Twitters and saying that they should go for the Champion Hurdle, and I said, well, no, not really, because it's not the end all. Like we said on Wednesday night, there's other decent festival races like Aintree and all that, and obviously you could tell that Song for Someone needs that little bit of a longer trip because that was a little bit too short for him. So I reckon he'll definitely go to Aintree for that Aintree Hurdle. That their Champions Hurdle for the festival. I can see Silver Streak heading for the Champion Hurdle in March, and would put in a really good performance again. Considering Evan Williams was moaning about they had to take out the hurdles. Well, if it's the low sun, obviously it's a health and safety issue. You've got to take the hurdle out. It's just one of them things. You're not gonna let you're not gonna let all the horses jump over low sun, and and you're gonna hurt the horse. It's a racing welfare issue. All right, they used to do it, in the 60s, 70s, but this is the modern era. This is of course, okay. They could have said they were talking about it was a bit of a too tight around the chicane. They could have got rid of the hurdles. Well, like with Richard Hoyle said, well, they've got to take out the hurdles, but then they've got to fill in the holes where they've where they've
Where
done
they've
all
had the hurdles, yeah.
themselves. So they have to fill in the holes. It will take time. It will take like 20 or 25 minutes.
Yeah,
And then
like
you're,
simple, yeah.
and then you're going to lose your sunlight, your sunlight for the last race. And you don't want that debacle. What actually happened with that bumper race with a tight photo court finish?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
A black and white photo, wasn't it? Pitch black.
So I mean, okay, with Cheltenham, with the fences and the hurdles, they're not portable. The ones who are portable, you could do that without, like with Southall and Worcester. So it's just one of them things. You just have to go, grim and bear it. You got to go, If you have to go round in the chicane, you got to go around the chicane. And I thought for someone that was a great price as well at 6-1 or 5-1. That was a really good and done really well. I'm looking forward to it going to Aintree.
Absolutely. Okay, quick final mention then for White Mouse. Bryony Frost won someone 50 grand.
Yeah, she dug in deep there as well. That was a good race.
Yeah.
That was a good race. I thought Cobden was going to sneak in there. He had to weave his way through. I think he may have left it a little bit too late. But I don't think you can take much away from the winner. And Bryony, she gives it all at Cheltenham. She could sense another horse coming, and she took off again and won, like you say. Won a lucky punt at 50 grand on the ITV7. So everyone was happy.
Made their weekend and Christmas, no doubt.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, can't give him a beer, can we?
Right, well, there we go then. That's obviously what we thought of the weekend's racing. You might have spotted something else that you want to mention about below. So, have a mention below if there's something else you liked. As you said, we've got a little competition as it's Christmas. We're going to give away one of these wonderful paintings from Caroline Cook. You'll be able to see on screen. So before we give that away, basically, we need you to answer this question from young Sean. You got a question there for us, Sean?
Yes, we do. It's about big bucks we're going to go with on this one. Young Jamie's a massive fan of this horse, I believe so, Jamie. So we're going to go with this one. And what we want to know is how many stayers hurdles at the Cheltenham did he win? So how many stayers hurdles did he win at Cheltenham?
Right, there we go. There's your question. For those that don't know, you'll have to get Googling, and those that do know, just comment straight down below.
I'm pretty sure 80% of people will just do it just to save a bit of time, but that's fair enough on that one.
But obviously what we really want you to do is to comment your answer below and then subscribe to the channel itself. Once you've done both of those, then we'll enter you in the competition, and then when we film our video on Wednesday, we'll draw out a winner and we'll get something off just swiftly. So there you go. Get involved and win yourself one of these wonderful prints.
Only thing, Glenn, you can't say answers on a postcard.
No, we can't. We've moved on a bit since then, young Jamie.
No.
Okay, well, there we go, lads. We've all got dinners to eat and family to see and stuff like that. So we'll wrap it up there. And like I say, get involved in the competition and comment below and subscribe to the channel.
Excellent.
See you again next time, boys.
Have a good evening, lads.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.